Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have my wintergreen Tic Tacs here, and I'm going to have some Tic Tacs now that my wintergreen Tic Tac secret is out of the bag. I can have them while I talk to you sometimes. So right now I'm showing you an Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan has a new warning for investors: run for cover. Now, those of us like myself and like the Peter Schiffs of the world have been calling what's going on right now for many years, that if the governments do nothing but print money instead of making people become responsible and learn from mistakes, you don't print money to cover up the problem and take the country into further debt. And that is all that's been done for the last 10 years. And now Alan Greenspan, he's one of the greatest offenders of this type of stuff, he comes out on CNBC and he wants to warn everybody now. He hasn't been warning all of the last 10 years of what they're doing and how destructive it would ultimately be, because he couldn't do that while the stock market was running up, because then somebody might get mad at him. But now he's doing it. It says Alan Greenspan, the former Federal Reserve chief, who called out the tech-fueled rally of the mid-1990s as irrational exuberance, is now giving investors a new warning. And when he came out and said irrational exuberance back, that eventually the internet bubble burst not too long after he said that. And then I wanted to show you what he says at the end, and this is what really matters. In the CNN interview, Greenspan said the U.S. could be headed into stagflation, an economy characterized by high inflation and high unemployment such as was seen in the 70s. How long it lasts or how big it gets is too soon to tell. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's never been more money printed, more debt accumulated by any country in the history of the world. And these guys knew what they were doing, but they were making money while they were doing it. And now it's time to pay the consequences, and the consequences are going to be great. But the good news is, in periods of like this, of stagflation or inflation, people traditionally have run to gold and silver, but now they have an option like gold and silver that they've never had since 1696. They have the first new asset class since 1696 that is deflationary in most cases. In the case of XRP, that's what we care about. And so this right here, when it gets really ugly, in my opinion, this at some point is going to be one of the things that just skyrockets digital assets, the good digital assets. And so anyway, I just thought this was important to show you. Moving along, I wanted to show you this. Coinbase. They're on their 9th day of their 12 days of Coinbase, and this was their groundbreaking announcement. DAI, GNT, MKR, and ZIL, all digital assets that we've never even heard of. Order books will soon enter transfer-only mode. We will accept inbound transfers in regions where trading is supported, and So in other words, they're adding support for those 4 digital assets. And so my reply to them was, this whole supposed change was about your listening to your customers. In my 4+ years in this space, I have never heard one person even speak of those 4 coins. It might be time to get a clown mascot. And so what I say and then I said hashtag what a joke. I think they don't necessarily need a clown mascot, but they ought to put a red clown nose right below the Coinbase thing on their logo. I think that would look nice and be entirely appropriate, because that is pathetic, and they know it's pathetic. Moving along, I got this from this guy's putting them out these days. He's been sending me a lot of good information at ECOSSEXRP1. Go follow him on Twitter. He's really active in the XRP community. And what he sent me was this Nasdaq article here. Nasdaq raises offer for crypto-oriented financial services provider Cinnabar to $220 million. Now, this is not really in sync with what we were told earlier today in an article. Pros are ditching the Bitcoin. Now, remember, this is Bloomberg, the most anti-crypto financial news service in the world that I have found. Pros are ditching the Bitcoin market, JP Morgan says. And also remember, JP Morgan, just in the last couple of months, has one of their traders being written up criminal charges for manipulating the silver market, and he said that he was told to do so by his superiors. And there's been articles about how it's going to go on up the chain. But in this, so this article gives you this quote: participation by financial institutions in Bitcoin trading appears to be fading. Analysts, including so-and-so, wrote in a research note dated December. Key flow metrics have downshifted dramatically. Well, we're in a bear market, so of course they're going to downshift. But this article, in my opinion, as most of Bloomberg's articles, was intentionally written to give it that kind of slant, because that doesn't make any sense when you've got Nasdaq, who meanwhile is putting they've increased their offer to buy this Swedish firm that is involved in crypto. The U.S. Stock Exchange aims to acquire Sweden's firm Cinnabar through its Stockholm-based subsidiary Nasdaq Technology. And if you go down and you look at this, let's see what it says about New York-based Nasdaq has raised a per-share price for Swedish crypto-oriented financial services provider Cinnabar, according to the U.S. Stock Exchange's press release from Tuesday. The company is making the acquisition bid via its Stockholm Incorporated wholly owned division, Nasdaq Technology AB. Then if you go down to the bottom, it says, Nasdaq is acquiring a company that is in much better financial shape than it first thought, with good revenue momentum and much lower cost basis, in addition to no funding requirements. Leonardo said, as quoted by FT, established in 1998, Cinnabar is a global provider to brokers, exchanges, and clearinghouses. One of its main offerings is Trade Express, which specializes in trading and post-trade services for cryptocurrency exchanges. So the writing's on the wall. You see, it's like my theme the last week has been follow the money. Do not listen to these clowns that are manipulators. I mean, they're in court, criminal manipulation of the silver market. They're manipulators, and now they're telling you what's going on. And meanwhile, if you follow the money, Nasdaq is not just buying this crypto-oriented firm, but they're upping their offer because they don't want it to be lost. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And please tell your friends and family that they should tell Coinbase to add a clown nose below their logo. It would be much more appropriate. Thanks for listening.